What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Discussings podcast with the PSA crew. Um, it's officially February 1st. We're recording this, so we've got DGPT this month. We're getting close. The off season is almost over. We're about to be having tournaments every weekend. The season's about to be here. I know these guys are excited, just like me. We're going to be talking about a multitude of things today. I'm gonna go at Ken Climo a little bit, maybe.
The fake
If
Ken
you don't,
Climo. You
yeah,
got
if
to
you,
specify that.
well,
Not the
does
real
he?
Ken Climo.
But he doesn't specify it in his tweets, so we'll get to that.
Exactly.
The DGPT has made some announcements today. That are pretty interesting. We'll get to those, and then Mason has a surprise segment, so we'll see what that is whenever he opens his mouth. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Let's go,
today's gonna be a
bud.
good one. Today's gonna be a good one. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about starting with the old elephant in the room, the old DGPT statement that they made today, actually, February 1st, as we're filming this. So headline is DGPT announces new scores and stats platform powered by PDGA Live and Statmando. So if you don't know, Statmando was as of last year, a third-party stat keeping disc golf website. Sorry, weird stuff going on with my computer, but that's what that was. And then obviously, for the live scoring, everybody was relying on UDisc pretty heavy, and I know I was. I mean, I'd either be watching it on the streaming service, or I would be, kind of following the UDisc live if I couldn't be watching it. I know these guys were the same. But some very, very interesting stuff to be unfolded in their statement. So first of all, they were kind of, briefing over what was going on, but they said, we're grateful for UDisc support and sponsor and partnership as the tour has grown from a small series of events into the official pro tour of the PDGA. As DGPT approaches its 10-year anniversary, we're thankful for the expertise and commitment to quality and accuracy that UDisc has provided. And I'd say most people would agree with that statement. There's been some discrepancies about UDisc and how the actual scoring is kept place, by people who are just volunteers, or are they people who actually, are really paying attention and knowing what's going on. So this new change will be definitely pretty interesting. They say our deepened partnership with Statmando as a part of the PDGA team will open the new door to new development opportunities for additional statistics and insights. So they kind of finished off the article by saying, we are excited for the possibilities that this new platform will bring, said the VP. Hosting our own scores and stats is the first step towards being able to use our data for further fan engagement and to reach new audiences. We will be able to provide third-party access to our scores and statistics that can be used by sports news organizations or for gaming, such as fantasy and wagering. So that was probably three of the most interesting words in that whole article, fantasy and wagering. I know everybody's been asking for that, been interested about it. They also finished it off by saying, we're looking forward to our fans being able to interact with disc golf in new ways in the future. Guys, that's what we've been asking for a very long time. As far as just, advancing the game, seeing where it goes, seeing where it can take it. What organizations can they get in with? You saw Kristen Tatar get a Porsche sponsorship. She's got her own car. I mean, are you kidding me? Everybody looks at FPO sideways, but I mean, if anybody's, doing it to the fullest, it's Kristen Tatar, baby. So we'll kind of, touch on that a little bit. Just, the whole stats aspect and the live scoring. I know they said it's gonna be on dgpt.com. So everybody's, gonna have that bookmarked. But a lot of people have, been kind of skeptical as not having an app. Everybody wants an app, easy access, easy clickings. And that was what the DGN, the Disc Golf Network, and UDisc brought to people. You're either switching back and forth between that, or you're choosing one and rolling with it, given a day-to-day basis. So that's going to be interesting. I know there's a lot of backlash that I've kind of seen in other podcasts or on just social media in general, but I kind of like it. You know what I mean? I know these guys agree. We just talked about it briefly before. So we'll see we'll see what kind of happens. What do you guys think about all that?
Yeah, I think that, I think it could be very huge, like in changing the overall um just publicity that disc golf gets, like I mean, you see obviously with the bigger sports like football, basketball, stuff like that, you see like literally everyone, whether it's ESPN, Sports Center, whoever it is, like the sports betting aspect of sports has grown, I feel like, immensely in the last like 4 or 5 years now that it's become, more legal in all of the US. But I still think that the issue or the backlash part of things is that I don't understand the hate of UDisc, right? Like I don't understand why people ever slander UDisc because I think
Yeah.
UDisc is great. You know, UDisc is still going to be the thing that I think is going to be the go-to, especially for most like amateurs or just people playing for fun. Like that's
Hmm.
UDisc is still going to be that main thing. So, in order for the DGPT.com, kind of stat Mando deal whole thing to take over UDisc, they're not only going to have to be better than what UDisc is doing already now, but they're going to have to implement all that information. They're going to have to add all those courses. They're going to have all the whole layouts and all that stuff. But obviously, I know for now, the goal is basically as like a pro tour use, right? Like it's not necessarily just the use for every, average everyday player. It's more for the fantasy aspect, more for the, sports betting or able to keep track on tour with the pros and stuff like that. But I think that's such like a certain crowd though. You know what I mean? Like how many disc golf players, do you know that, yeah, they maybe like watch a weekend or two of like tournaments, but they're not like a lot of the guys that I've played with or know around my area, like, yeah, they'll watch, every once in a while, they'll watch the big tournaments and whatnot. But I mean, they're not every weekend, they're not looking at like, oh, who's playing this weekend? What are we looking at? What are we thinking? Stuff like that. Um, but I do think that with the fantasy and the changes in the fantasy and also the sports betting stuff, I think that may change that aspect though. Like those more average guys could also be like, hey, I got something to look forward to potentially do now, you know. Um, so now I'm gonna watch every weekend. But
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of a couple of things that you said, like if they do figure out a way to implement even just fantasy, not even like sports betting or anything on the disc golf pro tour, but just like a fantasy team, the game would grow so much. There would be so many more eyes on it. Viewership would go up, and then the pro tour is going to make more money off of that. So then you're going to see higher payouts for players, which is going to in turn lead to, more people thinking, oh, well, maybe I should try to be a professional disc golfer and maybe I should try to get on the pro tour because I'm sure that there's plenty of people around the country right now that are, I guess, amateurs, pros, whatever you want to call them, but just don't want to go play on the pro tour because, for one, it's not really that lucrative right now. Like, unless you're winning a bunch of tournaments or placing in the top five, like, they're traveling all around the country. They're staying in hotels. Some of them literally live in their van for like 6 months out of the year. Like, it's not like they're doing it for the money. They're doing it because they love disc golf. So, I mean, it's kinda weird weird because like, you wanna see the game grow, but, like, it's kinda like I wouldn't say it's like grassroots right now, but, like, most people are doing it for, like, the love of the game and, like, just, like, the camaraderie of, like, going to tournaments with each other, hanging out, like you see it from Gannon Burr and Alden Harris and, Gavin Babcock and, like, those guys, like, they travel with each other, like, they just love hanging out, like, their vlogs are so fun, like, that's just one. I think that's an aspect that you might lose eventually down the road if this does become like a bigger thing and it starts to gain more momentum. But then to your other point with like the stats and stuff like that, I think it's interesting to see Statman like when they bought Statmando, I was kinda curious as to why they did that and what they were gonna do with it, and I didn't think it was gonna take them that long to announce whatever they were gonna do, but, obviously they had to do some development and stuff like that, and they probably ran into a few issues, but I think it's gonna be good for the Pro Tour to have Statmando on there because, I don't know, Statmando I've followed him for, like, a year now, and they just post some really cool stuff that UDisc doesn't really do, I don't think. So I mean, I guess it'll be good for the Pro Tour, but like Mason said, like it's not going to be for the average disc golfer. Like the average disc golfer is still going to use the UDisc app because I don't think they're ever going to try to overtake the UDisc app. And quite frankly, I don't think it's possible just because of the sheer number of people that already use it and are comfortable with it. It's like, it's kind of like the iPhone versus Android debate. Like, whatever you use is what you use. You're not going to switch. So I don't know, just something interesting to think about there, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I agree with a lot, if not all of what you guys said. Just another kind of 2 points that I'd like to add, and then we can finish off this topic. But another thing is obviously it would bring a lot more money into the PDGA's pocket, the PDGT, or sorry, DGPT. I always get that one messed up.
Too
But
many
yeah, man, and that,
acronyms.
oh, I swear to God. Anyways, uh, so yeah, it would just bring a lot more money into those organizations' pockets, and that increases the purses of every weekend. Like I saw a post the other day. Um, some of the highest named tournaments of the year, probably the 6 to 7. Like some of them grew in purse just from last year to this year, over $25,000, and some like Worlds went from 100 to 200K total buyout or payout. Sorry, it's just insane, dude. I can't even speak straight just to how crazy that is, just from that growth from one year to the next. And just imagine what all else could happen, and what these new informations and new and set things that they've put into script now. I mean, we could see a lot of change and very soon. And another thing that we'll kind of end it off with, about the fantasy thing actually. I think more so now than a few years ago when Paul Macbeth was running the table. It's a lot harder to bet now, which is what the betting service is like. Um, as far as what they're looking for, as far as lines. Everybody talks about all that in betting, and I think it's just very interesting. Especially on the fantasy side, if you draft a dream team, and you could think you have the best team, but then a group of DGA guys or a group of people you wouldn't expect to win or get hot and win tournaments, and you're sitting there with nothing, and you got some of the greatest in the game. There's so many players that could do it week to week now. It's unreal, right? There's AB, for example. He's in a lot of people's top three, if not five, favorite players, most talented, could win at any minute. And there's guys out here who just moved here. He's been living here all his life, AB, born and raised. People are coming out here, living here for just the off season and beating him at his home course. It has happened twice already this year. You know what I mean? Like AB play. I'm not throwing shade at him at all. This just goes to show that there are so many good players now. You had Parker Welk beat him at Vista at the Shelly Sharp. You had Tristan Tanner beat him last week at the Maricopa Open out here. So just insane stuff, man. It really
Yeah,
is a lot of,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't know, like, sports, the whole sports betting world, like, a ton, but like, just the aspect of, like, what I guess, like, what you would kind of put on there, maybe, like, besides, like outright winner. I mean, I don't know,
I
maybe,
could
Yeah, I
I
like,
was
could
thinking that
speak I could
too.
speak to this for you if you
Go
want some
ahead.
clarification.
Yep.
I
well,
mean,
I guess I would say, like, what would be, like, different things that you would maybe try to do to make it interesting? Because that, I feel like, if I don't, I may be mistaken in this, but did they not try to do this before,
no,
Hmm.
you
they
know,
did.
and it
They
just
they
didn't work
did do
out?
this before. I don't really know the specifics on it. I just know that from what I read, um, it was either like 3 or 4 years ago. It might have been less than that, but I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago they started doing it, and people were just taking them for all their money. Like the lines were just ridiculous. Like the
Yeah.
payouts were insane for like no reason. Like the people that were creating the lines really had no idea like how to do it for disc golf. Like they didn't
I
know who
just
was
read
really that
today that they
good.
were on Prize Picks at one point. Disc golf was on Prize Picks. Like
Yeah,
last year, someone wrote an article about it.
yeah,
Gatekeeper Media. I just saw
that's
it
what
today. Like, Yeah.
That's what it was. It was Prize
Yeah.
Picks, and people were going on Prize Picks and absolutely hammering them for money. And they literally took it off like 2 or 3 weeks later. They were like, "Dude, we can't do that. Like these people know too much, and we don't know anything about it." So
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I knew that you had told me that story before, and I kind of forgot it, but that just goes to my point. As in, like, yeah, it was kind of easier back then. You know, you only had a few guys that could pop off at any minute.
yeah,
Now there's dozens of soldiers that could just
yeah.
spin pill at any
Yeah.
second.
My
Well, hold
so
on.
You
okay,
got
go
it.
ahead.
Just to get back to it real quick. Um, I would assume like say like like your FanDuels and your DraftKings, like that's like the main sports books that people use for like NBA, MLB, NFL. So obviously the PGA Tour is like ball golf, so they'll probably end up doing stuff at it's the what would I say, the less superior golf sport. And yes, I will say that over and over again because I used to play real golf. It's not as good as disc golf.
You
Never
still
will
do.
be.
You're sweet. You're league
Mm.
bound.
Haven't played in 6 months because I've been spinning
League
that
down the
pill.
street.
Been spinning
League
that
down the
pill.
street.
No, but so in like real golf, you can bet on the outright winner, like you said. And then they actually have like they'll have like a list of different players like matched up with one another, and like you can bet on this guy or this guy. You can bet like people to finish in the top three, people to finish in the top 10, top 20. There's actually like a lot of different things you can do, and then I don't know, like prop bets you could say.
Like,
Um,
imagine score, like betting on, like,
yeah,
oh, two
well,
I,
guys,
I
seven
you
and a
was
could,
half over under. Like, oh my God, that would be just crazy.
yeah,
so I guess like cool things would be um like say the odds for someone to record an ace, but you had to pick which player was going to record an ace, or
yeah,
That's
um
tough.
they do they
like
Did
do
you
that
guys
you
know
for
there was only 22 aces, MPO and FPO, just last year? Like, if you really
on
think
tour.
about it, that's not a lot. There's a lot of people out there playing a lot of tournaments, and there was
but
only 22 aces.
you got to
That's
Yeah,
think
kind
but
like
of
the
crazy.
probably
courses that they play are way
Oh, I know.
harder.
Exactly. But, like, there's still reachable freaking holes. People
Oh
run
yeah.
stuff all
you
the
got
time.
I was about to say you got to think though, like I say let's say on average anywhere in between like 30 to 100 registered players for like really really big events, right? And I mean that means you're talking 3 rounds at the same
Sometimes
course,
more, like
right?
150.
Yeah, I know, but let's say on average 75, 3 rounds at the same course between 75 players, 18 holes. That means you'd have to do 18 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 75 tee shots.
Reachable par threes, though.
Right. I mean, I
Yeah.
get what
So
you're
I
saying,
know
but
what you
I'm
mean.
just
I know
saying
what
if
you
you
mean.
were to
Yeah.
put that in context of just tee shots in general. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, no one's like you're not hitting like a 700 footer. I mean, I'm not going to
Eagle
say it's not
McMahon.
possible. Yeah, I was just saying I'm not going to say it's not possible, but like
Eagle McMahon with
that
a
is
dimension.
Eagle
yeah.
McMahon lefty.
Woo, gee, mama.
I just think though, like there's probably so many things you could do, and that that all sounds good and cool, but until it's actually like put together and stuff, it's all just
Yeah.
skepticism of
I
like how it
mean,
could turn out.
I highly doubt that you're going to be able to bet on it this year
Mm.
unless because I don't think Prize Picks is going to
I
do it
think
again, bro. Like
I
I
think
just don't think they're going to.
a marketing strategy personally, if I were head of the disc golf pro tour or something, a marketing strategy would be what's my most watched event all year, drop it on the same event. Like,
Yeah,
hey, Worlds is
probably Maple
happening
Hill.
this Worlds, Maple Hill, OTB Open. I mean, I don't know. Probably Worlds though, I would
Of
assume, right?
course, bro. Yes, yes.
So Worlds. So you're going Worlds though, and you're like, well, we're averaging anywhere in between,
14 and
relative number.
17 viewers.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say
I'm
maybe
just
like
kidding.
five to 20 potentially million viewers, right, in the weekend. If you're like, hey, this week,
I don't know. We got to look up how many
think
disc golfers there are in general, dude. I don't
think
think
about
it's
it.
that much.
No, think
Dude,
about it though.
yeah.
No, think about it.
No, I know.
Worlds,
I like where you're
worlds,
going. No,
right?
I get it. I'm hearing you.
Look up Jay real quick for me. Look up the viewership of Worlds last year.
Okay.
I bet it was not millions, but it was hundreds of thousands, I would assume.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it would at least hit a million potentially.
I don't think
Mason,
so.
Mason Alberts, you're far off, kid.
Yeah, there's
Is it
not a lot of
way
people that
below?
watch disc golf, bro. It's probably like barely 250,000,
20.
if.
Oh, hold on a second. This is ESPN, that broadcast they did on TV. That don't count. I'm not looking for that. But okay, we'll brief on that. It drew 123,000 viewers. That ain't bad.
Okay,
What was that on?
I'm shooting the stars here. Okay. Anyways, even at 123,000. So if you go anywhere in between the 50 to 100,000 range for viewership and at Worlds, then that like if you're promoting all week, hey, starting this week on DGPT or on whatever, whatever website or app or whatever you're doing, you can now partake in fantasy sports and sports betting on your favorite disc golfers this weekend at Worlds. Like, okay, smart move. Like smart business move.
If the disc golf pro tour and well, I guess the disc golf pro tour and the PDGA are like two separate entities. So I guess if the disc golf pro tour really wants to grow the game and they really want to grow viewership, they will seek out a partnership with ESPN Bet, because as soon as they have a partnership with ESPN Bet, they will be more inclined to show crazy shots on ESPN. And you know how many people watch ESPN?
Absolutely.
That would immediately add, I'm not going to say millions, but that would easily probably double or triple the viewership
Because dude,
for disc
Get
golf.
hip to the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You start seeing that they show that that Calvin Einberg ace from last year. Absolutely insane
People
little
are gonna be
turnover
like,
flex eagle shot. People are gonna be like, I want to try to do that.
yeah. And
Like-
then
like
they're gonna go out there
tomorrow.
and yeah, and then they're gonna go out there and go to Dick's and get a set of 3 discs, and they're gonna realize, wow, I can throw this 120 feet and it looks terrible. How do they do that? And then you'll be hooked for life like us.
And then you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna practice every week, if not every other day.
Hey, somebody said Pat McAfee a basket, an MVP basket.
For real, dude.
So that on his show, when he wants to do something just crazy,
instead of shooting the 3, he can
Oh,
putt.
yeah. He can just spin the pill right at his desk.
Interesting.
Hey, Pat McAfee, if you're seeing this, I will come on your show and I will not only beat you in disc golf, I will beat you in basketball, I will beat you in throwing the football, and I will beat you in kicking.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No, listen. Hey, this is a little off the topic of disc golf, but on College Game Day this year, when they were having people kick 33-yard field goals for $50,000, I hate to tell you, but I'm making that every time.
We're hitting that. Yeah.
Like he's picking the nerdiest people out of the crowd. Like obviously they ain't gonna make it.
Oh, you know who else picked? Nah, I'm kidding. Let me reframe. You guys might have known where I was going with that.
I didn't know exactly where you were going with that. Chill, bro.
MVP, MVP team MVP application going in soon. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and
for all 3 of us, like maybe yesterday.
It's definitely gonna happen within the month. Maybe definitely by the end of April. Hint, hint.
If I can get people to leave me alone at my local park, maybe I'll film a video. If I can get people to leave me alone, which is a big if, I'll film a application video.
Do you mean the 1 million people that always just walk around while you're trying to play disc golf?
Oh yeah. Scottsdale, Arizona.
I need to say something.
If you know, you know. You guys know.
I know that disc golf isn't like a big thing, but can we go back to a time in the world where people actually use their brains and have common sense? Like if somebody has a basket sitting in the park and they have discs littered around the ground, would you not
with a sharp edge?
Would you not think that it's a bad idea to go in the vicinity of that basket?
To have your kid play on the tree 10 feet to the left, do you guys think that's a good idea or no?
Like, hey, sorry,
that's one of the smartest things I've ever heard.
Where there's
one of the smartest things I've ever heard.
If your kid
Ooh.
catches one to the dome, that's on you.
It ain't on me. We both just did the same thing, bro. Because you guys know, I tell you too
Hey,
much.
It's
you guys
frustrating.
have heard this one. You guys have heard this one. You'd think it's super easy. I mean, we ain't making watches, right? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
All
Oh,
right.
Hey,
you ain't lying.
we're not trying to fit square pegs into round holes around here.
Exactly. But just a quick shout. Ohio, finally, I don't know about near you, but finally had some sun today. Some okay
Sure
weather.
did.
Heck yeah. 50 clip?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like
we hit
52.
50 where I was. Yeah.
Nice.
So guys, I might be able to get my first round in of the year this weekend. Let's
Oh my
go.
God.
Oh my God.
Disc of the day.
Disc of the day.
Edition Tesla. Oh, goodness
Oh
me.
man. The
Little
reflective on
special
that.
edition. If I remember correctly,
Should
this
I
weighs
run downstairs and get a
100,
disc of the day for the gang?
152 grams, if you were wondering. She's on the
Ouch.
shelf.
Wow.
Should I go get a disc for
Yikes.
disc of the day since Jay is the only one that's ever shown a disc?
No. We'll do it.
We're
We'll
good.
do it
It's
next
just
time for
weigh.
you.
Trust me, I
But
got heat. Yeah, you got it
but
next time. You got it.
I got heat too, bud.
I also have some heat. All right, but listen. So
You do
I
kind of,
know
yeah.
I'm the nerd of the group, right? I'm
Correct.
Pokemon is one of my favorite things of all time. Back in the day, right? I don't know if they still did it in the newer ones, but back in the day, Pokemon used to do the thing that would cut out, go to commercial, but it would say, "Who's that Pokemon?" You have to guess, give you silhouette. But instead of giving you a silhouette, I'm going to give you some stats, and I'm going to see if you guys can guess who the disc golfer is. All right. So we're going with who's
Okay.
that disc golfer. Okay. So here's what I'll say. Okay. I'll give you a couple hints, give you a couple guesses, and then I'll give you some more hints. We'll see if we can get to a conclusion. Okay. So to
Who's
start
that
off,
pill spinner, you mean,
who
Mason?
who is the said pill spinner? All right, hear me out. Okay. This pill spinner is
Here you
in the MPO division. Okay. This person made in total prize money in 2023 $26,617. Okay. This person, okay, top placement all year long was second place, okay, in an ES tier event. Okay.
in a
And
me?
Series.
Oh, okay.
this person has placed in the top 4 in 2023 a total of 3 times. Okay. Lastly, said pill spinner has competed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 Disc Golf Pro Tour or A tier events
Last year.
in 2023.
And it's MPO.
MPO.
And his top placement was second, and that
Second.
includes all the A tiers and the
Correct.
okay. I understand.
That's tough.
Okay, I just had to make sure because I had one in mind, but I was like, he won something. So
I have one in
yeah,
mind,
that's
but I don't
very
remember
tough,
if he
Mace.
won.
I know that's very tough, kid.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
gonna
give you another
guess.
hint. Go ahead, guess. Give me a guess.
Is it Kevin Jones?
It is not Kevin Jones. I do
I
like
don't
that
know if
guess.
he won.
It
I
is
feel
not
like he
Kevin
had to
Jones.
have won at least one event
So
last year.
here's another guess I'll say. Okay, so we've all seen him on the Pro Tour.
Like a hint?
We have also seen him. Yes, a hint. We've also seen him on other platforms besides just the Pro Tour.
I know
I
who it
hear you,
is.
Mason. I hear you. It's one of two.
You can go. I already
It's
guessed.
well, it's Brody Smith.
It is not Brody Smith.
It's Paul Uliscary.
Is it who?
Paul
It is not Paul.
Uliberry? No.
I don't think Paul ever got a second place finish last year.
Logan, who was your guess?
I
was
said Kevin
guessing.
Jones, and then I was gonna say Brady
Who
Smith.
is it, Mace?
But
Talk to us.
give me one more.
So this
One more hint.
okay,
Yeah, rebuttal.
last one, okay. This said pill spinner, okay, is known. This is gonna give it away. This said pill spinner is known for the certain attributes of his body.
Ricky Wysocki.
No.
I have a guess, Mason.
What
I
is
have
your
no
guess?
idea.
James Conrad.
No.
What?
Dude, I have
The
no
pill
idea.
spinner. The pill spinner I'm talking about. Okay. That I tried to give the hint about the specific aspects of his body. He is also known as a fitness YouTuber. He is also known as
Ezra?
Brody Smith's partner
Ezra?
in his disc golf videos. It is Ezra Adderhold.
I was thinking about that. Hey,
Ezra.
can I say something real quick? Ezra on Instagram right now, too much. I'm sick of seeing it.
Oh yeah. Too much.
Traveling around the
Too
world.
much
It
thirst
is
trap
what it is.
No, I
stuff.
like
It's
no,
too
I like
much.
the traveling, but like outfits are a little too
Too
much
much.
for me.
Hey, if
But that's
modeling is
him.
something
That's
that
him.
you
We
want
got
to get
That's him.
into, he's got it. Ezra is the disc golfer that I chose for this week, and then we'll choose someone else for the next time. But Logan, you kind of brought up Ken Climo. What's happening there?
Yeah, not the real Ken Climo. I'm talking about the fake account on Twitter. Now, initially, like the last couple weeks, I had an opinion on it. But you know, how things go in this world these days, you see something, you hear something, you might see something from a guy you like, and you might get an opinion on a guy and think, "Oh, who is this? Let me go see." And then you see what he's saying, and you're like, "Well, you know, this guy's got no place in disc golf. Like, you're just doing it for clout, doing it for likes, doing it for the engagement, whatever he's doing it for." But then I go on his page today to gather some evidence to bring to the pod, and I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of funny. So I have mixed feelings about it. I know he has beef with a couple of guys on tour. He said some pretty outlandish things. I will say that. Like, I'm not saying like what he said is okay to like a few of the people, and what he said about them is okay. But I mean, the
It's
memes that
got
he
to the point
posts,
where he's been blocked. I won't say by who. You guys can fill in the blanks, but he's been blocked. That's just goes to show if you don't know
yeah,
what he's talking about, it's blasphemous. But go ahead.
yeah. So I mean,
Sorry, I'm over
I don't
here. I'm
know.
over here laughing and stuff because the stuff that he posts is just. I mean, it is. It's funny.
Diabolical.
Yeah, it's like
I think it's
some
hilarious,
of
but
it's
it's also pretty bad.
yeah, I mean, some of it's like pretty egregious and like maybe you shouldn't say it, but I mean, there's always trolls and like, you know, Drew Gibson said that. He's like, there's always trolls, but I forget what Drew said, but he's like, you crossed the line, which he may or may not have in that situation. I did see he said something about Scott Stokely. Uh, I forget what he said, but I was like, all right, that's uncalled for. How are
Well,
you
the
gonna go
whole
after how are you
well,
gonna go after
there's a
Scott
difference.
Stokely? He never did
There's just a
anything to
difference.
anybody.
There's a difference between being funny and then just like being plain out mean. Like,
Yeah.
and and there's a difference in running an account, a fake parody account under someone's name, and I'd say over half of those kind of accounts, they at least disclaim that they're a parody account. They put it in the bio because they don't want to get in trouble. This guy don't do that. 12-time world champion is the guy
Yeah,
is
that's
the guy's
literally his
bio is the
that's his
guy's
bio.
bio, and he's
Yeah.
sitting in his mom's basement right now. Bad happenings. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
I
he's
mean
funny though. Like you said, he's funny.
that's
he is
really all I
funny,
wanted to
dude.
do was touch on it. I don't want to put him out there. I mean, we only have like 5 people to watch this, so who cares? But um
Yeah, last video has 5 views. I think
I
I think
mean,
you're
hey,
spot on. I mean,
but listen, we're gonna keep doing this. I'll do this till the day I die. I mean, if
yeah.
people start watching it, people start watching it. If nobody starts watching it, whatever. I mean,
Hey
it's your
man,
It's
loss.
one of my favorite YouTube channels that I watch currently. It's been 12 years, man. 12 years, and he just hit 500K. You never know.
It's a slow grind.
Time and
yeah,
effort.
exactly.
Only
Yeah,
thing,
his
it's like
main
only two things that you control: your attitude, your
and
effort.
your effort.
And we have a good attitude, and we're putting in the work. So
So yeah, he really only goes after Well, he doesn't just go out, but mostly Brody Smith and Drew Gibson, and
Yeah, he's pretty
both
ruthless
of
with
those,
Brody.
both of those people have expressed their great discomfort and great dislike of this gentleman, or
Yeah.
whoever is running it.
Though Drew Gibson,
I'm not putting that one in, Mace.
but I will say this about the whole Ken Climo and his beef with like people on the tour. If there's two easy candidates to go after and get under their skin, it's Drew Gibson and Brody Smith.
Because they're
Because they
online and
already
they're
yeah,
yeah.
because they already have a social media
Oh
presence
yeah.
and
They're
they
always on
I,
social media.
yeah, and they're always and that's I mean that's how they grow their channels and that's how they sell discs and sell their merch. I mean, I get it. So really, maybe they're paying this guy. Conspiracy theory? Maybe they're paying this Ken Climo guy to stir up some garbage.
Wow.
I'm on to you too.
All right. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's just there's a lot of things that he says that are funny, and then like I said, there's a fine line between funny
Absolutely.
and then just plain out like, dude, come on. Like that was just like egregious, uncalled for.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say about it is if you do go to his page, like one of the most recent tweets is it's a video of I think it's a Big Simone guy, if I remember correctly, playing rugby and running through the other team. And the caption was Calvin Heimberg in the FPO division.
We'll
And
leave it at
that's,
that.
yeah. And if you don't know what's going on with disc golf right now, he's making fun of something, but I'm not going to mention that. But yeah, that's the line the guy
Yeah.
toes just to show the evidence.
Let's just
Right.
say we started this podcast after that news broke and avoided it for a reason. We have no comment. So
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to get into that mess.
the only thing we want to get into is team MVP. So please, we are begging you, we are pleading. Not really.
We'll do
But
anything.
we like your stuff, man. Come on, get with us.
Send us
Hey,
stuff. Let us do
please-
I would
another
say
pod.
get with us or get without us, but that's not happening because we never switch on the guys.
I have thrown MVP for a whole entire year now, and I will never throw another disc. I don't even touch other discs
know.
in stores. I don't even look for other discs because I don't need them.
Most people find what they love, years and years down the road. They're like, you know what? I've bagged this brand for long enough. No, dude, it was pretty quick. No brainer for me. As soon as I touched a fission hex for the first time, dude, get out of here. By the way, Logan and I both agree that we both have the best mid-range lineup that you can possibly attend to.
Out of
Let's
any
go over
manufacturer.
stable out of any manufacturer.
Next time.
Nope.
Next
nope.
time.
Pyro,
It's quick.
reactor,
It's quick.
hex, pyro reactor, fission hex specifically,
Tempo.
and a detour. And a tempo for the little fifth slot sprinkle in there.
But is a tempo really a mid-range? Yeah.
It can get there. It's an approach. All right. Mason's right. We're done.
All right. Well,
We will see you guys. Episode
thanks
4.
for
Thanks
tuning
for
in.
watching.
We appreciate you guys watching. Tune in for next time. Hit us on all of our socials at PSA Biddy on Instagram, at PSA. Is it just PSA Disc Golf? Or what is our Instagram handle?
Yes, dude.
That is correct.
I send you 8 memes a day.
I'm
8
sorry,
videos
bro.
a day.
Hey, he's got a lot
PSA
going on
disc
in his
golf.
life.
Bro,
His girlfriend's downstairs ready to take his head off.
X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, PSA Disc Golf. Get with us. Or get without us. I'll say it to you guys because we're turning up quick and we're turning up hot.
Exactly. So check us out. Continue to follow us. Keep up with us. And like we always say, the motto, disc golf different.
And throw gyro.